One rainy morning, Futaba's changing and getting ready for school. Quietly, she thinks about everything that's been running around in her head, which overwhelms her. With the weight of the world of growing up hanging heavily upon Futaba's shoulders, she ponders if there's a way to get rid of the preset choices that life constantly throws at her. She wonders if there's a fifth choice to everything. I want to go to another world, she says to herself quietly as she closes the door behind her. A few minutes later, she finds herself in an unfamiliar city, a city like no other. She wonders if this is the world she's been looking for. Another world that she's always been dreaming about. But before she can even realize that she's in fact in another world and that her language changed from Chinese to Japanese, someone greets her. Boss Baby Goldenpants, a coherently talking baby. Boss Baby bows to Futaba and tells her to allow him to worship her, which surprises her. The baby comes crawling faster than a cockroach sprinting and lifts Futaba's skirt, asking her if she's the real deal, which shocks her. Futaba repeatedly kicks Boss Baby for doing so, before asking where she is right now. But the Boss Baby tells her the assassins are nearby and that she needs to save him. Boss Baby tries to convince Futaba, but one of the assassins appears and it's yet another Boss Baby. Boss Baby Goldenpants explains to Futaba that the baby standing in front of them is one of the 4 mafia leaders who are chasing him. The mafia leader baby asks Boss Baby to surrender, or he can die with his cute little hands. But Boss Baby just spats at him, which results in a baby quarrel. However, the mafia leader baby tells him it's time to get serious and summons his spy cloth, Hanzo Hattori. Hanzo cuts through the building like a 1,000-degree knife cutting through butter. As the spy cloth attacks Futaba, she suddenly remembers what Hikaru, her friend in the real world, had told her. Within an instant, Futaba's body starts to flow with energy. With power in hand, Futaba unleashes all her attacks, which are all nothing. Realizing Futaba's attacks are just a ruse, Hanzo attacks once again, charging forward. At the height of her fear, Futaba remembers Toru, another friend of her back in her original world. Futaba dodges Hanzo's attacks and flees with Boss Baby. Futaba and Boss Baby successfully evade their pursuers. But Boss Baby asks Futaba why did she run away even though she's strong, calling her Hiro-sama. Boss Baby tells Futaba that she has the powers, and she can only unlock her powers if she strips her clothes off. Futaba smashes Boss Baby's head, telling him he's just a pervert. However, Boss Baby explains that in this world, the more clothes someone has, the more powerful they are. In this world, clothes are associated with spirits and they can be summoned to fight at their master's behest, claiming that every single one in the world has their underwear as their lifeline. Hence the name Spy Clothes. Taking off their underwear means death for them. Futaba tries to believe Boss Baby's words, but seeing his pants go down didn't really make his case very convincing for her. Things start to escalate as Hanzo and the baby mafia leader arrive, catching them by surprise. Boss Baby tries his best to convince Futaba to take her clothes off, but she ain't having none of it. As Hanzo charges forward, Futaba kicks Boss Baby away, who's holding onto her boots, technically stripping Futaba's clothes off. The assassin catches Boss Baby and is about to deal with the killing blow, but luckily for him, Kamisato Ayato appears and saves him, blocking the blade with his hand. Hanzo stops attacking and tells his master that it's not fair to attack an unarmed opponent. Ayato comes closer to Futaba, asking for his sword so that he can fight Hanzo. But Futaba's flustered as hell. Imagine that she's stepping on him every day with her feet. However, Ayato snaps her back to reality and takes his sword in the form of spy cloth. Ayato introduces himself as Salmon Fubuki to Hattori Hanzo. After their introductions, the 2 spy clothes disappear and fight like Ultra Instinct. The 2 fight ferociously but are both even in skills and swordplay. As the 2 stop mid-fight, the bridge they're standing on collapses, burying the mafia boss leader. However, the baby mafia leader is still alive and breathing, thanks to Hanzo's sacrifice, leaving a piece of cloth behind. With his spicloth dead, the baby mafia leader strips naked and summons a messenger to contact their HQ. As the underwear leaves his body, the baby mafia leader vanishes slowly, warning our heroes that his friends will avenge him soon enough before turning into nothing. With the enemy defeated, Boss Baby turns to Futaba and congratulates her on her first win. Fubuki transforms back into being one of Futaba's shoes and so did his weapon. Futaba asks Boss Baby why people are trying to kill him and so another baby appears, telling her that Boss Baby is this world's light. Intrigued, Futaba asks the other baby what he means and the baby asks Boss Baby to help him show her. Boss Baby glows like the sun and radiantly shines, emitting golden rays of light coming out of his nipples. A few hours later and our heroine and her babies are on the run. The last mafia leader is chasing them as revenge for destroying 3 of his mafia friends with his giant spy cloth slug. While running, Boss Baby's feet get entangled in the street wires on the road, causing him to trip. Even though she's still in massive disbelief in the world she's in, Futaba turns back to save Boss Baby. She summons her spy cloth, which turns into a magical schoolgirl wand. With her spy cloth being nothing more than just a toy, Futaba throws her backpack, which transforms into yet another magical schoolgirl wand. Boss Baby's friend tells Futaba that she can't just summon spy clothes without the desire for it, as spy clothes answers to their master's heart, remembering the fun she's had before and the memories of the old world she came from. Futaba tells Boss Baby she's not really the hero of the world as back in her home world. She's still as useless before as she is right now, as the mafia leader turns his spy cloth slug into a dragon. He orders his dragon to attack Futaba with a giant fireball. Futaba's about to be a well-done hero, but thanks to Boss Baby's quick maneuver, she's all in one piece, snapping out of her useless nostalgia. The dragon attacks again, but thanks to Super Old Guy's spy cloth, his invisible, giant glasses, they're all safe and sound. Super Old Guy tells Futaba that only she can activate her spy clothes, and that can only happen if she listens to her heart. And so Futaba sings a happy birthday chant, which the babies also have to sing along with. Their joyful and hearty song powers Futaba's wand, channeling a projectile strong enough to counter and pierce through the dragon's final attack. Defeating the enemy, Boss Baby leads Futaba into their secret base, introducing her to Min-chan, another member of the resistance. Super Old Guy calls out everyone and gathers them as they are going to proceed with their initial plan, to storm the enemy's base and take them out. Futaba doubts the plan, and so Min-chan strips her bra, revealing her twin spy clothes, Ooh and Pei-Pai. After a long talk about the plan, Super Old Guy decides to split the group. Futaba will take the front door with her spy clothes, while the three of them will sneak into the facility through the secret entrance and sabotage the enemy's base while their attention is drawn towards Futaba. Their goal is simple: to bring back the light into the world. And so the mission starts and Futaba takes the front, dealing with all the enemies using her spy clothes. After a long and arduous battle, Fubuki falls and can no longer continue. Futaba arrives at the top of the tower, with Min-chan heavily injured and Super Old Guy betraying them. Boss Baby asks Futaba to save them. Although Futaba and her spy clothes fought valiantly and won by a landslide, something she didn't account for is Super Old Guy, Boss Baby's friend's betrayal. Super Old Guy tells Futaba that she's afraid, just like everyone is. He tells her that everyone in the town is afraid of Hikaru and his shining light, because once Hikaru's light illuminates the world, everyone will be naked. Super Old Guy asks Futaba if she dares to be naked when everyone is, and if she's not afraid to be seen along with all her secrets, challenging her resolve. While the goons attack her spy clothes, one by one, her spy clothes fall and Futaba's defeated easily. With no one to defend her and Boss Baby, the goons take Boss Baby by the neck and choke him. Futaba holds Boss Baby in her arms as he lay dying. Boss Baby assures Futaba that so long as she searches for the warm heartbeat that keeps them together, they'll always find each other. Boss Baby is dead and Futaba has been trapped inside the goon cage that Super Old Guy's minions fuse into. But a few seconds later, Boss Baby's body glows bright, piercing the goon cage with his blinding light, ascending into the sky with radiant but warm light. In a quick flash, Boss Baby's light transforms the once dark, dead city into a vibrant and live one, erasing the darkness that once filled every corner of the city. It's 10 a.m. and Futaba wakes up, shouting the name Hikaru. Min-chan calls Futaba asking where she is, but Futaba asks her where Hikaru went. Min-chan doesn't know Hikaru. Super Old Guy calms her down and tells him the things she wants to say slowly. Futaba asks her about the envelope that Hikaru gave to him, but Super Old Guy doesn't know anyone with the name Hikaru. This shocks Futaba, questioning herself since she remembers a person called Hikaru, a childhood friend she's been together with for the past 12 years. Futaba believes she's been trolled and calls other people. Still, their responses are the same. They don't know anyone with the name Hikaru. But before she can break down, she remembers the time capsule that they buried together. This way they can remember their memories. Futaba rushes outside and heads to the time capsule's location. There she finds the only picture of Hikaru that she took before, proving Hikaru's existence. After reading Hikaru's diary, she learns more about Hikaru's feelings, which further emotionally damages her with Hikaru's disappearance. Drenched and soaked in rain, Futaba arrives at the Asego household, looking for Hikaru. There, she meets Hikaru's mom. Hikaru's mom begins telling Futaba about her family. Hikaru's parents are friends with Futaba and Toru's parents. While Futaba's dad became a policeman, her mom a pharmacist, and Hikaru's parents both became a chemist for the pharma company. Toru's dad married the subsidiary company's CEO's daughter, effectively making him rank higher than his peers. Sometime during their working years, Hikaru's dad made a breakthrough. He managed to create a drug that allows people to remember people longer, effectively increasing their memory capacity. Hikaru's mom's husband is an excellent chemist, and the two of them got married together while working at Kato Pharmaceuticals. 2 years later, Hikaru's mom got pregnant and Hikaru was born. However, Toru's dad gave the formula to his father-in-law, which they mixed with the fruit sodas that they were selling, increasing the profits. Hikaru's dad knew the danger of it, as it is dangerously addicting. Confronting Toru's dad, but the CEO came in and congratulates Toru's dad on the success of the product, which Hikaru's dad overheard. Knowing the dangers of the soda, Hikaru's dad gathered his friends to try and instigate a riot, which should eventually lead to the downfall of the pharma company. During the riot, Hikaru's dad got killed, which resulted in Hikaru's mom pretending to be insane just to make sure Hikaru is safe. All of this happened just because Toru's dad is madly in love with Hikaru's mom, weaponizing the drug that Hikaru's dad created so everyone will forget about him. Once Hikaru's all grown up, Hikaru's mom decided to tell him everything. Realizing the truth, Hikaru tried his best to announce the truth about the soda, his dad, and everything that happened 10 years ago. But it didn't end well for Hikaru. Toru's dad set him up and killed him. Upon hearing Hikaru's mom's story, Futaba cries her heart out, knowing that the Hikaru she knows of is long gone. Futaba finds Min-chan and her BF while wandering the streets. She tells Min-chan about Hikaru and how she misses him while shooing Toru away. Later that day, Futaba and Min-chan almost get kidnapped by unknown men. Luckily for the two, Futaba's father arrives just in time to stop them. Later that day, Futaba's mom receives a call that her husband was taken for charges of corruption. That night, Futaba tries to reveal the truth about the corrupt pharmaceuticals and Toru's dad, but she didn't dare to do so. The next day, Min-chan's dad encourages her to keep on going and that there are people who will support her endeavors, her friends. And so that night, Futaba tells her friends about what happened and the truth behind Hikaru, with Toru joining them. The group arrives at Hikaru's house and tells his mom about the plan. As soon as they're done talking, they start doing their tasks. Toru offers to talk to his dad, while the group sneaks into the school underground facility that he discovered while looking for clues. The group goes down to the facility and checks it for evidence of the drug's misuse. However, they soon discover that a trap has been placed in the facility and that they fell for it. Min-chan confronts Toru's dad's right-hand man and fights him, but they soon flee the scene and head to the rooftop, where Min-chan knocks multiple enemies down. But as soon as the right-hand man appears, he fights Min-chan and breaks her right arm. Toru appears with his dad and is ashamed of himself for endangering his friends. But Toru finally stands up against his crazy dad and Futaba joins him in defending their friends. Toru's dad orders his man to finish them off, but as soon as the man's about to hit Futaba, Hikaru appears and saves her. It gets weirder since Toru's dad's drugs erased everyone's memory of Hikaru, but those who remember Hikaru can see him. Hikaru, with all his strength, fights off the right-hand man. The enemy shoots Futaba, but Fubuki, Futaba's spy cloth, appears and cuts the bullet in half. The guy fires some more rounds, but both Fubuki and Hanzo slash through each of the bullets, effectively saving Futaba. Hikaru powers up and summons all the spy clothes we've seen before to deal with Toru's dad's men. One by one, their enemies fall down to the ground. Seeing he's about to be defeated, Toru's dad runs, but the spy clothes catches up to him. Every spy cloth summoning gangs up on Toru's dad and beats him up. The spy clothes join in one single file to give their best attack on Toru's dad, with Hikaru landing the final blow. After the fight, Hikaru explains to everyone that he's dead, and the only reason he's alive is so that he can bid everyone goodbye. Hikaru hugs mom and tells him he loves her before reminding Toru to protect everyone. In his final moments, Hikaru tells Futaba to be strong and tries to leave, but Futaba tells him not to be full of himself, telling him that he's the one that saved her from all the troubles that she faced before. Unable to resist, Hikaru runs back toward Futaba and kisses her. As the sun rises and the first light arrives, Hikaru fades into nothingness, leaving everyone behind. 3 years later, everything is back to normal. Toru's dad is exposed and arrested. Min-chan and her boyfriend are going to college. Meanwhile, Toru goes abroad. Futaba visits the old shrine that she frequently visits, praying for success. After praying, the monk sees Futaba. She asks if the world that she saw in her dreams is true, and the monk gives her a riddle that tells her it is true. As Futaba's going down the stairs, she trips, but a familiar-looking guy saves her before falling down the stairs. This is all for this anime. Give the video a like, and I will see you in the next minutes.